I'm Melisa Nielsen with Waldorf Essentials. Today's topic is sort of your relationship with time and getting that relationship with time sorted out. I think that for me as a choleric, my relationship with time has always been something that I'm like, I gotta move this here and move that there, and rather than letting things flow, it's very easy for me to just compartmentalize everything and have to put everything in a little time block. And when you sort of create a rhythm, you do that a bit, but you want to sort of be in the place of letting it flow. But what I tend to see a lot of is a lot of moms that are like, I just can't get it all done. I can't get everything done that I need to get done. And they've gotten themselves overscheduled and they're really struggling with sort of how to get all those moving parts in. Now, there is an added layer if you're like us and you're running a business from home. And if you are, I invite you to check out Biz Schooling. So it's waldorfessentials.com/Biz Schooling. We are working with a bunch of families in there to sort of help them do that, help them really get their schedules where they feel good with it and they feel like they're giving their family the time that they need. So I will say that there were many years that I had to struggle with time. And then I realized that like the very first time I did my own actual rhythm chart, it was kind of by accident. I kept thinking there is something missing here and I got to figure out what it is. And so being the like wrestle it to the ground person that I am, sometimes I tend to overthink for sure, but I just kept track. I kept track for a week and really trying to figure out like why is it that I feel like I should have more time, but I don't? And that's often what happens. We overschedule ourselves because we don't think things are going to take as long as they actually take, or we're not very honest with ourselves about like what we're actually doing. So I think it's really interesting and important to note, and we've said this before, the mind lies. Like 50% of the time, your brain, your mind is lying to you. So, and it's because your perceptions are not what you think they are. And so it's really important to sort of get that baseline of where's my time going? And when you get that baseline of where's my time going, then you can look at the picture and go, oh, I need to cut this out over here. I need to move this over there. I need to let this lady know that I can't actually do that. And then we have to become very good at this one very small sentence. And it's like a single word, but it's one sentence. And that is no, period. Not no, comma, or not no, I'm sorry, or just no. And get very good at saying no. And sometimes we're saying no to something because it will completely like screw your schedule up otherwise. And we're not very good, I think, as women and as homeschooling moms especially. We're often in the space of, oh, but they have to do this and they have to do that and they have to, they have to move all around all these places. And they really don't. They really don't. I think that we live in a time where people are afraid to just be. We were at, I have a lovely friend. We were at a baby shower this weekend. I love her dearly. It was really funny because I was talking with another friend and we were sitting together and it was all quiet. It was all quiet. And it was like everybody that was there couldn't handle the silence. So somebody had to turn on some music. But we have to be in a place where we can handle the silence. Like it's okay to handle the silence. It's okay to handle the slow spots. It's okay to just be. It's okay to sit on the couch and knit while your kids play. You don't have to be doing something. Your house will still be there calling your name after you've had that time to just be. What I find is when I balance those times of just being with doing, and I'm not like out of balance with them, everything falls in line. Everything. All of my time works for me. When I am freaking out about the doing and just doing, then it just is all wonky. And I will say I'm really good at this, but we came home from our trip and, even I worked on our trip every day a little bit. I came home and I had like 300 emails that I was trying to sort through, and oh my gosh, I have these projects that came up, like that I had these great ideas about while I was gone, and I wanted to, and it was very easy for me to shift back into this place of, I don't know how it's all gonna get done. It's got like that freaking out place. So if you're in that freaking out place, trust me, it gets better, but you have to force yourself. So I doubled down on my meditation. I made myself walk away from my desk because guess what? Well, the email's still gonna be there when I sit back down. It's okay. I'm not Amazon, so you're not gonna get an answer from me in 6 hours usually. So I like breathed deep and I stepped away, and I did that for like almost 2 full days and just got myself back into the space. It was funny because then I walked down here and get ready for the video today, and I turned to Eric and I said, time works for me. I'm not stressed out about my inbox anymore. I'm not stressed out about what I've got to do because time works for me. And when you can come to it from that attitude of time works for me, it will work for you. If you are stressed out constantly, it will not work for you. But I also know my time works for me because I know where my time's going. So if you are resistant to the actual rhythm chart and finding out where your time's going, I have moms say to me, I don't want to know where my time goes. That would stress me out. But here's the deal. If you don't know where your time goes, then you are doomed to stay in that spot of racing everywhere. And I don't like racing everywhere. You know, I'm a pretty driven person, but I like to be on the low down, on the slow, on the just breathing. I sort of laugh because we live in San Diego, but we live in like this beach community where things should be like slower, like more chill. Like you shouldn't be racing to get to the stoplight just to stop. And we were coming home a few weeks ago, the kids and I, and there was this guy like totally at my butt on the car. And I'm thinking, dude, you're racing to get to the beach? Like, really? So I got out of his way because I'm not in a hurry. I'm not in a hurry. So I'm a pretty courteous driver. You will see me get out of your way if I can see you're in such a hurry that you've got to get there. So I get out of his way just to have him be at the next light with me and then have him be behind me again. I don't know how that happened, but like 3 times the kids were like, Mom, what's with this guy? And so, like, you know, I'm watching him as we pull into our little beach community. He's like racing himself to the beach. I thought, well, you got a hot date on the beach. Maybe you're late. But, you know, when you're in that space of like race, every light is going to be red. Everyone. People are going to make you mad. People are going to be in your way. Everyone. So think about if you are somebody who yells at people when you drive, or if your partner is, think about how that drive actually goes. But when you're in a relaxed place and everything works for you, like it's like the heavens open and angels move people out of your way, and you get actually to where you need to go. And it's the same amount of time. It's the same amount of time. So I really want to encourage you, if you're struggling with time, to step back and ask yourself, what is it that I'm trying to accomplish here? Am I trying to be a present-centered mom that is present with kids, that is present with my partner, that is conscious of what I'm doing? And if that's what I'm trying to be, then I am ready to change the way I look at everything. If you look at your day as that it doesn't have enough time in it, then it will not have enough time in it. If instead you look at your day as, I will get done what I can get done, and I will save the rest for tomorrow, and it will all be okay, and I know how to prioritize so that the things that are most important are at the top of the list. And, you know, and that's a huge thing, understanding how to prioritize. But if you can look at it from that space, it will all get done. It will all get done. And that doesn't mean you won't be under a crunching deadline. I'm definitely under those often. But I also know when to be under a deadline and when to not. So not everything can be a rush. Not everything can be under a deadline. And if you are looking at your life where everything is under a deadline and you're always rushing and your kids are in the car and out of the car and in the car and out of the car, you have to stop yourself. And you have to ask yourself, what is it that I'm trying to accomplish? Do I want kids that have a hurried life? Or do I want sort of this dream that I tried to create when I decided to homeschool, which was that they would have a more centered, slower life, because having kids that are in the car, out of the car, in the car, out of the car all day long, you might as well send them to school, because they probably would have less rigor at school than you do when you've got them in the car, out of the car all day long. So really think about it. Really think about what it is that you're trying to accomplish. And there are so many things we can do. I totally get, because the sanguine in me lights up. I'm like, all the things. I just want to do all the things. Don't I, Eric? And he's like, you don't have time to do all the things. Yes, I do. He's like, nope, you got time to do the things. So if you are in that space of like wanting all the things and wanting to, have all the things, you have to really sort of look at your relationship with yourself and why you think you need all the things or to be doing all the things. You have to look at your relationship with sort of your homeschooling self and why you don't think that you're confident enough to bring your children what they need from home. Like, that's an ouch. I know. You're like, ow, that stung. I know. And you also have to be able to tell those well-meaning people that think that you should do all the things, no, actually, I don't need to. It's really okay. And when you first get started saying, no, that's okay, I don't need to, the first time you're like really scared and nervous about it. But after you say it, you're like, oh, wait a minute. I all of a sudden have more power because I just said, no, thank you. So get really good at saying, maybe you have to practice in the mirror. It's totally cool. Say, that actually does not work with my belief system. I love that one. That's not part of my belief system. Or, no, that's okay. I don't need to do that. I know that you think I need to do that, but these are my kids, and I don't need to do that. Or to your partner, just say, honey, I know you really think they need to be in hockey and football and basketball, but unless you're willing to take the time off from work to ferry their butts there every day, then you're going to have to leave it up to me, because it's not happening. Come up with a compromise as needed, for sure, but don't run yourself ragged. Running yourself ragged is just a recipe for you being exhausted and not the mom you want to be. So get a good relationship with time. There's no magic bullet. The magic bullet is actually you. The magic bullet is you knowing exactly what you are doing so that you can orchestrate some things around. So again, actual rhythm chart. If you don't know what I'm talking about, look up the video or the audio if you're listening to this on the podcast, called My Secret to Rhythm. I think it's called My Secret to Rhythm. And we talk about it some more there. It's in our Planning for Peace journal. It's in Mom Lesson 1. I actually think there's even one on the resources page. Like, understanding your actual rhythm is really, really important. And when you understand it, you can fly. You can do so many more things when you know where your time actually goes. So for sure, check that out. And I hope you guys have a wonderful week. We are starting school today, and I'm super excited. Super excited. Spent yesterday making sure all my stuff was prepped, which is great, because on Friday I was like, crap, I don't know if I can start school on Monday. But guess what? I got my time relationship back going, and it all worked out. It all worked out, because it usually does. Things work out for me because I believe that they do. So they can work out for you too. Believe it, and they will. And when you believe it, people say, oh, you can't just believe it. Yes, you believe it, and then as you get little promptings and ideas, then you act on them. And that's how things work out, because the universe says, hey, I heard you believed. I'm looking down on you. I heard you believed. Here you go. Here's bone. Here's how to do it, because we're not given something to do without a way to do them. So yes, have a good week.